Hey, 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 welcome to Becoming a Powerhouse Brand podcast. I'm Jackie Laws, personal brand visibility and empowerment mentor for heart-led, impact-driven entrepreneurs who know they are here to change lives with their magic and build a dream life by design while they do it. This is where we blend soul, strategy and subconscious work to help you stand out as the leader you already are. We talk identity shifts, confidence, energetics, and the real behind the scenes of building a brand that feels aligned, magnetic, and apologetically you. If you are ready to take center stage in your life and business, you are in the right place. Let's dive into today's episode. Hello, beautiful soul. I am coming on here recording this today. It's the 25th of March. I'm about to hit my 2-year birthday for the podcast, which feels mental because it doesn't feel like it's been 2 years at all. And I'm really celebrating today because I've been consistent. I've actually been really consistent with recording episodes on here every single week. There've been a few weeks where I haven't, but then I've also in those same months recorded extras in 1 week. So basically done a really consistent every weekly episode on this podcast since the end of March 2024. That is a big achievement. I'm going to clap myself for that because that's a really big achievement. And I thought I'd come on here today to just kind of reflect on the journey that I've had over the last 2 years and to also hopefully inspire somebody else that's maybe feeling that pull to do something else, to be visible in a different way, to just test things out because you don't know what's going to work for you until you test these things, do you? So I had never really considered having a podcast. I hadn't really even listened to podcasts. It was only, I'd say, in the last 18 months, I've been listening to podcasts. So there's a select few that I listen to, mainly around empowerment, around manifestation, around personal development, growth, all of those kinds of things. So it's all about energy work. They're the podcasts that I love to listen to. And of course, the Mel Robbins show. I love that one. But I'd never really been that bothered about podcasts. I didn't have time to listen to them. Like the TV was always playing CBeebies. I always had the kids around, and it wasn't ever, there was no time to be able to do it. I've never been the kind of person that like sat and listened to music either. So I like quiet and space and just listening to the birds if I'm outside rather than having to have headphones in. But actually I kind of became a bit of an addict when it comes to podcasts 18 months ago. And I love them now. And I think I can't actually remember where this thought was that I wanted to create a podcast, but I know I'd been sitting on it for a good, I would say 6 to 10 months before I launched it. And I had in my head that as a perfectionist, as a creative, as a very visual person, I get drawn into things that look very aesthetically pleasing. So when I watch videos on YouTube, I can't watch somebody that is just recording something in their pajamas and like it's just not an aesthetically pleasing background. Like I like no, even if it's just something simple, like a nice light in the background or a plant, like so things like that really do make a difference for me. Otherwise, I'm just not visually engaged in watching or listening to that person. So I would overthink launching a podcast, and I kept thinking to myself, well, I like the idea of having a podcast, but what would I talk about? Like, who's going to listen to me? Like, I'm kind of a nobody. Like, although I work in brand and I've got people that know me in my spaces, who's going to listen to a podcast like from me? That's literally what I would tell myself. And I think I just kept overthinking it and then wondering what I would even talk about. I started a journal that I wrote literally, or a notebook just for my podcast to get all my ideas down. What would I talk about? All the different episodes? What would the name of it be? All of these different things. And I realized, because when I was thinking about doing this, it was on the verge of me hitting like a rock bottom moment of things just like crumbling around me, of feeling really difficult. So I was already in a low frequency state anyway, feeling not good enough, feeling like who's going to listen to my podcast. And I remember thinking, I want to do a podcast. I want to share my experience, my journey, because if I'm in this stage now, I'm not going to make this my reality going forward. I'm going to change things. I've made that decision at that point in time to change my reality and to work towards creating this dream business, dream life that I wanted to have. And I think it was almost that. It was that hunger of not necessarily feeling like things need to be perfect. And I think I'd heard so often from other leaders, from coaches that would always say to you, don't share things until you've worked through that solution and then you can share your transformation with your audience. Like I always heard that and I always thought that by sharing when I'm in a difficult stage, that's not then inspirational. But what I realized was by not sharing that, not sharing my truth, not sharing my journey, I was missing out on an opportunity to actually help people that were also going through it at the same time, or were maybe like a couple of steps behind me that were approaching a burnout stage. So I decided to kind of take my own route, which is the line 6 in me in human design. Like, I'm here to be a role model. I'm here to find my own path. I can see the future. I can see into where things are going. I can see that really clearly as a visionary. And I just realized that actually I was letting these people hold me back from really sharing my truth. And I didn't want to get to the point where, okay, well, now I've got to wait. I've got to wait until I've got the results. I've got to wait till I've overcome this issue or I have the solution to everything before I can share. That just didn't align with me. I wanted to share when I was in the moment. And with the work that I've always been working on is helping people to stand out. It's about helping people to take center stage in their business. And it's only been where I've been helping people to take center stage in their life as well in the last 3 years. And I realized that blending all this work together, there's so much around being visible. There's so much around building a personal brand that actually can feel so uncomfortable, and not uncomfortable in a I've not done it before, it's new kind of way, but in a this doesn't feel safe. This doesn't feel safe to me because when I have put myself out there, whether it is through a childhood experience or as an adult, it felt uncomfortable. Something bad happened. I was laughed at. I fell over. I got things wrong. People left me. Like, whatever it is, you play these stories over in your mind and you then believe it. So I think what I really wanted to do at the time of launching this podcast was to just share my in the moment, or maybe like a couple of steps ahead, but certainly not in the I've gone through this difficult stage and here's the solution to the problem. I wanted to create a podcast that was real, that was just me sharing my truth, was very authentic, not edited, no scripting or anything. It was literally just me sharing what is going on at the moment, what I'm noticing, the things that I'm working on in terms of building my own brand. And because I've always truly believed that every single person I work with, every single person I connect with, every single person in my space and outside of my spaces is an absolute powerhouse. I truly believe that we are all absolute powerhouses in what it is that we do. We all have the birthright to be able to live our most abundant, happy, freedom-filled life, like whatever it looks like to us. We all have that as our birthright. So I wanted to create a podcast that was inspirational, that would empower other people to maybe take a step into being more visible, that would open up people's eyes into understanding and ears, into understanding the importance of the invisible work that goes on behind the scenes, where you're working on your inner self, your inner personal brand that people don't see on the exterior, but that reflects in your exterior because of how you feel about yourself. So energetic work, healing, rewiring your nervous system, overcoming subconscious beliefs, the limiting beliefs that you have, looking at where past issues come from, or where current limiting beliefs you have come from. All of this work, all the guests I've had on this show over the last 2 years, the stuff that I've shared, the journey that I've been on, my own personal experiences, it's all been to help people to see that they're not alone, to see that this is kind of like, I wanted to essentially be a light for those that are going through a difficult time or going through a more challenging time, to know that they're not in it alone, that actually we all go through stages that are more difficult than others. And I wanted to really inspire people to take a step into being more visible, to really allow themselves that opportunity of, well, I'm hiding, I'm playing small, I'm amazing at what it is that I do, but I'm just not showing up, and understanding where that may come from, giving you some tools and some insights into why that may be, and helping you to actually flip that switch and become a more confident, aligned, empowered version of who you are. And I think even when you're doing all the healing work, even when you know about nervous system regulation, even when you know about personal brand, visibility, marketing, all of these things, there are always going to be more lessons to learn. None of us are ever perfect. None of us have ever completed our journey in personal development, business growth, personal brand, like ever. It's always an ongoing journey. So when I launched the podcast, I said to myself, it was literally on the day before I recorded an episode, I said to myself, I want to record a podcast. I'm not prepared to wait anymore to have the perfect background, to have all the kit that I need, to have all the lighting, to know exactly what every episode's going to be. I just need to start, because if I don't start it, I'm going to keep putting it off. So I remember recording the first episode, and it took me about 3 attempts to just get over the first bit. And I did actually have a script or like a guide to give me some prompts to work through, because for some reason, obviously with it being something I'd never done before, I was very nervous recording that one, even though it wasn't live, no one was listening at this point, but me recording my own voice. And it was just audio at this point. Didn't record video at all. But giving myself some kind of prompted script that would allow me to not go off on a tangent, because if you listen to my podcast, you may have noticed I do tend to go off on tangents. I very rarely have prompts now. Sometimes I do need to have prompts. If I've got a lot that I need to share, I will give myself some prompts that I will refer to on my screen or in my notebook next to me, just to keep me on track, because my brain goes a million miles an hour. I always have a million tabs open at any one time. Well, I came up with the name Becoming a Powerhouse Brand because I wanted to share the journey of me building my own personal brand. I wanted to bring in other people that are also absolute powerhouses. I wanted to empower those that listen to the podcast to believe that they are an absolute powerhouse. And it just felt really fitting. So the very first episode I recorded in my son's bedroom, sat on his bed, no professional lighting. Obviously, it wasn't video. I did have a mic, so that was the only thing I actually invested in. Just recorded it in Zoom, and I still actually record my podcasts in Zoom now. But I just had one mic. I still have that mic to this day. I am looking to upgrade at the moment, but I just didn't worry about perfecting anything. I just recorded an audio. It took me 3 attempts to get it out there, because I knew from the start I didn't want to have to sit and edit. I didn't have the budget to be able to outsource the editing to anybody at the time. And I just wanted it to be a really real, authentic podcast. So yes, the first episode took me 3 attempts to record it, but then after that, I got into a flow and I made myself accountable to write every week. It didn't have to be on a set day, but I was launching my new episodes every Thursday. That was when I launched. Oh, it's 11:11. That was when I launched my podcast episodes, and then I started to add in random Mondays every now and again, but didn't sort of stick to it. And yeah, fast forward to now, we're now 2 years into this podcast. It is growing really quickly all of a sudden. In the last, I would say, 3 months, it's just started to spike with the number of downloads I'm getting, which is amazing. And I honestly, like, this is my favorite thing to do in my business. Like, it is my favorite way to share my message. It's my favorite way to help people, because one, you can listen to this whenever, you can binge a load of episodes, you can save episodes to listen to again. I love listening to podcasts, and actually for me, I would say so much of my own growth and transformation and the momentum I've built in my own business has come from things I have learned by listening to podcasts over the last like 18 months. It's been so good for me, and finding the right podcast for you. Obviously, you don't have to listen to educational podcasts or podcasts anything to do with business. You can listen to ones that are just for fun. But for me personally, where I listen to podcasts around empowerment and visibility and nervous system and energy and the laws of attraction, laws of the universe, like, they really inspire me. I love this work. I live and breathe this work, and I am hungry to learn more about it as I go through my journey. I'm actually in the process of practicing Reiki. I want to learn pranic healing this year as well, which, if you don't know about pranic healing, there is an episode on the podcast with Tara Mehmet where we talk about pranic healing, which is incredible. It's kind of like the original Reiki, if that's even how you would say it. That's probably completely wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's been around longer than Reiki, and Reiki is almost like it's similar to pranic healing. Yeah, you have to listen to the episode because I'm really not doing it justice at all by saying this. But yeah, anyway, I want to learn more about this. I've been practicing Reiki on my dogs, and actually, interestingly, I just feel like I should share this. So one of my dogs is absolutely obsessed with a ball. I'm going off on a tangent again. This is why I need to have prompts. She's absolutely obsessed with balls. So if we are out on a walk and I have a ball there, she is fixated on it, like proper addict. And I took her on a walk a few weeks ago now, and she did not stop chasing this ball for the whole hour I was out. And it got to the point where she'd obviously done it for so much. She was fine when we were on the walk, but when we got home that evening, her tail was like down. It was really dropped down. And it's called limp tail. My retriever that I had before, my first Labrador actually, she had the same thing. And I remember it did take a while to heal. There's nothing they can do about it. It's really painful for the dogs. It's essentially they've just strained something. They've overdone it. And I can't remember if it's spinal or tail related. But anyway, our retriever did that the other week. And I knew it was going to take some time to heal. I didn't want to take her to the vets. So I was just going to practice some Reiki, knowing what I know. And I did one session with her. She got up and left me, and her tail was already starting to wag. She wasn't able to wag it before then. It was just hanging down because it was obviously painful. You could tell it was painful. Did one Reiki session on her for about 5-10 minutes, maybe. She walked up, moved away. She was able to wag her tail. Then she came back for some more, did a bit more Reiki on her. And then she was fine that evening. And I'm like, that's something that I know from my own experience and also from researching online, that it can take a good sort of week for that to heal on its own. And I've just cured her in like 15 minutes. That is wild. And I am taking that as a sign that I need to continue working on this stuff. So, yeah, I'm really excited to learn more about this. And I didn't mean to go off on a tangent then, but I just thought I would share. This is what I mean about this podcast. It's all about me sharing what I'm currently doing to inspire other people to try things as well, to do something different. And you don't know if you're going to be good at something or if you're going to enjoy something until you try it. I didn't know this podcast would have gone on for 2 years when I first started. It was just an experiment. It was just me to try out and see if I liked doing a podcast, if it's something I wanted to do. I said to myself, I set a goal of doing it for 6 months. And yeah, before I knew it, we're now 2 years into the show. So I'm absolutely buzzing that we are 2 years in. I did have plans to rename it, but actually, I think for the moment, I'm going to keep it as is. And yeah, if you have any questions that you would love me to answer on the show, there are any guests you would love me to have on an interview, if there is anything in particular you would like me to cover, please do always reach out to me. And also, if you are someone that listens to this show regularly, if you are a regular downloader, if you always tune into this, please send me a message on Instagram. I would love to hear what it is you love about the show. And I love to have conversations with people. It's always me that will respond. I don't have anyone that manages my social media. So if you want to drop me a message, I am at Jackie Laws. I will pop the link in the show notes because I spell it weirdly. And yeah, send me a message, leave a review, let me know what you think of the show. Reviews really do help to boost the visibility of the show as well. So I really do appreciate every single one of you that has taken a minute out of your day to leave me a review. Honestly, it really does mean so much. So if you do have time today, and if you enjoy the show, if you've enjoyed this episode, or if you're new here and this is the first one you've listened to, welcome. Thank you for joining and taking some time to listen to this today. And please do leave a review when you get a minute. I would really appreciate it. Hope you have a beautiful day. And yay, celebrating 2 years of becoming a powerhouse brand. I will see you in the next episode. Bye, guys. Mwah.